Welcome to the Outer Realm with MicheleDerocher and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night segment of The Outer Realm. We are broadcasting live right here on the United Public Radio Network, UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM from beautiful New Orleans. We're fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee who have been a part of our journey since the very beginning, so probably about 5 or 5.5 years. So thank you, Folgers. We couldn't do it without you, nor would we want to. Also, big thank you to Justin Snicker, a.k.a. Dr. Snick, the Sonic Surgeon, for the contribution of his music and his voice for the intro you just heard. He is an award-winning composer of Halloween, horror, sci-fi, and darkwave electronic music, which can be found on all of your favorite music streaming platforms. Also, big thank you to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind our logos here at the show. So check him out on Facebook, check him out on Instagram, specializes in the horror genre and does amazing commission pieces of any type. So tonight, we welcome back Wayne Mallows. Yay. Woo, yeah, it's going to be a good time. And it's open mic night. So we're delving into, of course, the forbidden, the obscure, the mysterious, you name it. We're going to be, playing around with it a little bit. I know everybody just loves it. I see y'all chiming in there. 1 second. Hello. Hello, Vet Girl. Hello, Heidi. Folgers. Yeah. Contessa. Hello. Hello, Jim. How are you? Ooh, very interesting. All about that. Love it. Hello, Patsy. Hi. Working my way down. Yeah, what's the address? Yeah, right. I think that guy. They're in New Orleans. Those ones. that branch. Hey, Kurt, how are you? So we're going to start off. I have to say. Hello, Teresa. Hello. First off, I want to thank everybody again for who share up the show. I appreciate you all so very much. It's just, that's just what keeps us going, right? And I never have complaints, but I have to say I had a complaint yesterday. I know. So anyway, I have to address it. So there are people who come into, to watch. We have like 8 different platforms, but of course, YouTube, the majority of everything in the chat room here is on the Outer Realm YouTube. But some people don't participate in the chat room, but they do listen. And it's where they go, because it's one of the links that we advertise along with the other one, which shall remain nameless on the platform here. And I guess for the last 7 to 10 days, a comment was made a couple times with one of our chat attendees who did not necessarily agree or enjoy the guest. Now, those who have been in my chat room for a very long time, no, I've occasionally made an announcement, and I haven't had to do it for a really long time, but that the guests can actually see your comments. So, hi, Michelle. So, I guess comments were made where along the lines of, well, I'm not into this, I'm not hanging around for this, or this is nonsense, or so. All I have to say about that is, we do have a wonderful chat room, and I appreciate and I love you all because you're so supportive and you just make the show that much more fun. But the guests can see this. Whether you believe it or not doesn't mean it's not so, right? So with that being said, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The idea here, even as per our disclaimer on the Outer Realm, is that we don't necessarily have to agree. But we will be respectful at all costs. Somebody is sharing their time with us and they're giving of their time to share their information, that maybe they've researched or a book that they may have written. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. So if you're not digging it, maybe just, with a little bit of integrity and kindness and say, oh, good night, everybody, and just bow out gracefully. There's just no reason to, like I say, it's like, well, I'm not digging this. I don't believe it. I'm leaving. Okay, that's great. I'm not into this guest. Okay, that's great. But insulting the guest is insulting me, right? And it's not overly respectful even for your fellow chat attendees. So that's all I'm going to say on it. And I appreciate you guys very, very much. But I don't think I've ever had a complaint on the show about the chat. So bad babies. Anyway, again, I love you all. So let's just get the show on the road and let's have some fun. So, hey, how are you? Well, hoo-hoo. Yeah, we do try. We share space. So, I mean, it should be good. Otherwise, it would get pretty ugly over here. So, without further ado, my compadre. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Heidi.
It was me, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was me.
I don't know. Were you just misbehaving in the chat room? Yeah. Well, let's hope not. That'd be a whole other conversation.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. No, it's just really important. Sometimes people come on here and give their time and, it's very kind of them to be here. And sometimes you have a lot of repeat guests. They come back because they actually love our chat room. They love the laid back atmosphere. They love that they can just speak freely. Some of these topics are not everybody's cup of tea. However, much as I'd like, I research a lot, but there's things out there that leave me scratching my head. But who am I to say it's not a thing? I don't know. I don't experience everything. Experience a lot, but not everything. So anyhow, so tonight, open mic, which means kind of like everything and anything goes. So what we're going, God, where do we start? We got a really good list of stuff together. Hey, easy son. So, okay. I have videos and stuff. So, it's going to be kind of fun. Right?
Oh, show and tell.
Show and tell. I know, right? So in Toronto, Canada, I believe it was on Tuesday, there was a video that was captured. So let me see if I can actually get this thing and share it with you guys. Be patient, because there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff here. So where the heck is this thing? I have to come back to it. Oh no, here it is. Okay, hold on. See, I've got 3 videos and they're all mixed up right now. So bear with me. So, oh, hey, Mish, how's it going? Hello. Always great to see all of you here. Okay, so where is it? All right, can I actually get this thing playing? So it says breaking UFO spotted in the Toronto skies. I'm going to see if I can go and find this, but I don't know that I can. So you know what? Let me just show you guys the picture. How about that? And then I'm going to show you a couple of other things because for some reason the video will not load. So I will show you a picture. And I grabbed this off X. You guys might be able to go in and find it. I don't know. I should just pop right up, I think. No? Okay. So here it is. This is the photo that was actually captured in the Toronto skies. You see, it looks like a triangular craft, right? This is the thing. So I took a screenshot. So I must have in hindsight known the video was going to give me an issue. So with that being said, this is a video that's floating around. Okay. So just look at, just put in like Tuesday's dates in Toronto captured in, hold on here. Yeah. Captured in Toronto. So 1 second, stop this one. And I'm going to bring this one here. Okay, there it is. So here's a little something that I found recently. And this is the United States patent application for triangular spacecraft. Now, I don't ever want to be the one to take away anybody's experience because let's face it, some of this stuff there's a lot of stuff that got back engineered. And yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly, Paul. The TR3B. Exactly. And, some of the stuff, could be a back engineered craft. Books have been written about these things. And there are folks out there who have had experiences that pretty much lines up with extraterrestrial. So I'm going to leave it there and just say, well, just know that there's always these other options as well. And I'll show you guys right here as well. As to a photo, where is this other photo? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Everything's disappearing on me. Oh no, hold on. It is a video. Okay, of said vehicle or craft, shall we say. So bear with me, God almighty. All right, I know, I'm starting to sound like my little prince there. Okay, so here we go. So here, this is a said craft. See? So they're out there. So they're out there. People are having experiences. So I guess it's just a matter of, being aware that there are them, there are us, and just be aware that not everything is ET. And not that there aren't ET crafts like this, but this specific one, of course, is the TR3B. So, but everybody chiming back in. Hey, Kat, Paranormal Heart. Hello, nice to see you also. So anyway, that is that, and it is floating around. It's amazing that they don't always hear about it. I know. Oopsie for me. I said a faux pas. Anyway, we are definitely, Contessa says, I live in Toronto and I haven't heard anything. Sometimes you just have to go on a different platform to find all this stuff. Just saying. Right. So I like to frequent certain, that's exactly what it looks like. So, I like to find things on X. There's quite a bit on there. You don't have the same sort of, let's just say it's a little more free to explore. It's probably the best way to do it without flagging myself. So anyway, that is, I guess, a something in the news that's there. And it was reported on Tuesday. And there's a video circulating around somewhere of a triangular, basically how it was put, UFO, UAP over Toronto, Canada. So that's that. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go back in here. I'm just going to get rid of this. Give me a minute. Okay. Now, next. What are we going to do next? Have you guys heard of the Collins Elite? Anybody? Anybody heard of the Collins Elite out there? No? No? Oh, God almighty. Okay. They are a group of people within the Pentagon, apparently, and they put their efforts, I guess, to either shut down or disclose the reality of UFOs. It discusses the push for disclosure, which I think is great, the connection between the UFO phenomenon, consciousness, paranormal, everything is all connected. But they do not believe at all and that these are so-called aliens. They believe that, and goes according to a covert intelligence, like this is them, this is research, but they say the modern UFO phenomenon is an ET. They say it's spiritual deception. They say they're not visitors from another star system, but entities from another dimension. Sure, I believe that, they could be dimensional as well, for sure. But there's a shocking number of them who line up with, other groups that warn us that these may just be demonic forces. that who are running around this masquerading as, religious icons or saviors, things of that nature. So this is something that is going around, and it looks like it's being taken very seriously. So, and there's a whole list of stuff, on this. So, Wayne, what is your thoughts on this? What do you think?
Drop me in the deep end of the pool. Thanks.
No problem. No problem.
Well, there's a lot of things to discuss here. I mean, like right now,
Yeah.
I've really been pondering this whole idea that not the sort of flat Earth theory, but the domed, like we're on a stage and it's covered in. I always remember seeing a show years and years ago of migrating humans through space, like great distances. So you'd have families living and dying and living and dying and living and dying to get where they're going. And these ships had gigantic arms that went off the side, and each arm had this gigantic circle on it, like just vast, to be the size of a continent, and with a dome over it. And the sun would rise and fall and so forth. And you just thought you were, this is our planet. This is it, right? But it wasn't. It was just you were in this little snow globe going through space. So I often wonder if the things that we see that come from the sky or from the ground or whatever, what if they're just caretakers? What if they're just maintenance people? That sort of come in and they look like aliens, or they have little rubber suits on and things like that, and they tweak things like, this glass part here is broken, so we're going to come in and fix it. And then you see them and they're gone, right? Just a curiosity. That's me, though.
It could very be. Hey, Timbo, Terra in Finita map is definitely intriguing. Who the heck knows what's really what? There are people like such as Nathaniel Gellis, who's going to be coming on again soon. And there is a very strong belief that some of them are one of the same. It's like you've heard us talk about it before. Like, what if, those who think that, religion will tell you, well, these are demons, ufology, or extraterrestrial researchers might say, no, they're reptilian, right? I mean, if you look at the similarities between the paranormal and the, UFO contact, or they say abductions, like the smells of sulfur and the foul smells and the clicking, clacking, tearing sounds, or things like that. There's a lot of similarities. So which one is which? Really? I mean, which one is which?
Well, it's hard to know. I mean, you go back in history and you look at it. I mean, it's not like this is a new phenomenon. And there's religious paintings that have UFOs in the skies. There's wall paintings done by indigenous, people and tribes all over the world showing non-human, beings. They're definitely not us. I always go back to back in the day when you had no point of reference. You drew what was around you. So if there was gazelles, you drew gazelles. If there was lions, you drew lions. But if there was 3 or 4 people with a big head with a screen here and little dots and a pack on their back, they painted that. Why would they paint something so obscure? Yeah, if they didn't see it,
I agree. I think they absolutely emulated what they saw. They drew what they saw. It makes the most sense. I think we're just looking at perspective as to what they really are. I think with looking at extraterrestrials, there are different races. You have good, you have bad, much like anything else. But I know. But these guys here, if you guys Google them, the Collins Elite, they truly believe. I guess part of their argument is that if you are, I guess there are some races that if you were in the middle of an abduction and you holler out the name of Jesus and everybody stops midway, they just stop abducting. And it's kind of like, well, okay, there are some, but then there's also a lot of researchers who say they're not fazed by it. Like they're just, so, I mean, there are a great amount of them who are very spiritual, and there are some that are just, bad apples, and I'll just to leave it there. But it's like people, It's good people, not so good people. I'm pretty much thinking it's just like that in most races, you know. Look at the Hindu gods; all of them are blue, multi arms. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think a lot of them, yeah, were mistaken or were called gods. Absolutely.
I mean, even
Um,
Akhenaten's painted blue. I mean, all their
and some,
artwork is
yeah.
so lifelike, and then some of the
Hmm.
Akhenaten paintings, he's a bluish green color.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah, there are a few like that, you know.
Yeah.
Perception is unique to every individual. So I believe some things vary, but the absolute need for balance. Yeah, exactly. Oh, niche. Be safe. Be safe. Okay. I wonder if the visitors are checking out how the experiments are going. Hmm. Possibly, possibly.
I know you and I were talking about that just the other day when I was in grade school. I had a really cool science teacher, and we made these little biospheres kind of things. I don't know where he got them from. They were smaller than an aquarium, but like, bigger than a cookie jar kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to put all this stuff in them, like soil and little plants and
Mm-hmm.
bugs and water and all the rest of it. And we sealed it, and it was just so delicate. It was unreal. And many of them didn't make it because there was like the smallest contaminant in it. But it was really cool because the plants would put off carbon dioxide, and it would, it would steam, and it would get up to the top, and it would rain. Like, it wouldn't rain like we know rain, but it would just condensate and drip back down and feed the plants. And it was so incredible to watch. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're watching, like I'm looking at it as a kid in grade 4 or 5, watching this thing and going, I'm wondering if there's like other beings that are out there looking down at us through the the lab rat kind of maze kind of thing, and watching what the humans do today, right? And see how far we go before we destroy our own little biosphere.
Mm-hmm. We don't ever really know for sure, but I mean, a lot of folks who have, um, been in like experiencers, um, contactees, have reported like amazing experiences with beings of all sorts. So it's really hard for me. I mean, look at it this way: what I remember, there's stuff I don't remember. Maybe there's stuff I don't want to remember. I don't know. Maybe the time isn't right to remember. I may never. But the things I do remember are pretty cool. And I've had experiences where they've been very respectful. If I see something, we're like, yeah, nope, no, I'm good. Nope, thank you, not tonight. All of a sudden, everything's just gone.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So I don't know. I don't know a lot of malevolent energies that would take it so good and say, yeah, whatever, scare you into complying, But a lot of them, they're not all malevolent. Some may appear to be demonic. Other encounters, like I said, they just show to be very love and light sort of thing. So I think is it a matter of, I guess one of the arguments they make isn't so much about people and extraterrestrials as it is maybe about good and bad, love and light, spirituality, non-spirituality in the end. Like, what is it exactly? So I don't know.
Oh, you take it out of context. I mean, like I always go back and say, like, if you took a white van and dropped it back, 3,000, 4,000 years, they'd have no idea what it is.
Right.
They have no idea what it is. They would talk about the white bear, the white bear that moved with a rumble. It'd be something like that. And then you come back 4,000 years, and they'd be like, what are they talking about? What white bear? What white bear are they talking about back on these cave paintings and on these papyrus notes? What white bear are they talking about? You would have no point. Like the Thunderbird always makes me think of a extraterrestrial craft, or even one of our own craft, ripping through the sky at faster than sound and popping the sound barrier. There's your Thunderbird, right?
Yeah.
I mean, dragons are cool too. And you look at the Klingon bird of prey; it looks like a dragon going through the sky. It's just another perspective.
Yeah. It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. I mean, what else? What else you have with that? You know, Jim South Park made an episode where the Earth was a giant reality show where aliens collected 4 races of people who hated each other and brought them to Earth for TV ratings. Oh my God!
I can see
Yes,
it.
yes. Oh my gosh! Absolutely, I could see that. That's so funny. But yeah, anyway, so that's a thing now that is that's floating around out there, and it's a thing, and there's a lot of researchers that are, I think, coming forward and saying, you know what, like some of them, this is the way they go, this is how they lean.
Right.
So I don't know.
So
So
what, like, if we go back for just a minute, I'm going to just ramble for a minute and just interrupt me if you feel it's going too far. But like, I always look at things like I talk about, like misunderstood technology, misunderstood things like that. I mean, I always said that if you have a being come from the sky and you're thinking that heaven is up and hell is down, well, that would be an angel, right?
hmm
Even if it wasn't, they'd have no point of reference, right? But
hmm
I always thought that, and I'm not dissing any religion because I don't know anything about that, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just going strictly on misinformation, trying to understand what had happened if you're a primitive culture. Like they talk about the fallen angels.
hmm
What if the fallen angels were just a race of beings that came here and did the big naughty and violated the prime directive? You
Ooh.
know what I mean? And they did
A
this.
big naughty.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it's just not supposed to, don't mingle with the primitive culture. We're just here to observe. No, we're going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
mingle.
yeah, yeah.
Like, and they don't understand what it is they're seeing. They came from the skies, so they're fallen angels. And then the angels went back to their starship, went, nope, you're bad. We're going to banish you, and they never came
Yeah,
back, right? So
yeah,
I just
yeah.
look at it like taking accepted religion out for a moment and just saying, just plug in science and what you can understand, but they couldn't because they had no point of reference. Sorry,
hmm
I was rambling, but that's what I'm trying to get
No, no,
across.
no, no, for sure. For sure. I mean, there's so many different theories. I think that's part of what makes this all so exciting is just hypothesizing. But Zizan also makes a good point. If something is masked, you should be able to sense that something is off. That he would think, and I agree.
I do too.
Right. So, well, I don't know. I'll leave that right there. I'll just keep going with that. Okay. So here's something that is interesting. This is something again that is floating around, and this is another image of an angel riding a power line. So I present these things. Just know I present these things. It's just to share up and get your yay or nays is something that is I found interesting, but I mean with all the CGI, AI and everything else, who the heck knows, right? So I study belief systems, religions, cultural background, absolutely for fun. It's insane knowledge, wisdom I collect. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna play this, and you guys can let me know what you think. So it was interesting, and I thought, oh, let's just share it and have fun with it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So here it is. Slow-mo.
It's different.
That's what I said.
It's ball lightning.
Yeah. So in reverse, here we go.
That's holy cow, compelling.
It's different, isn't it? So what do we all think? I mean, I completely agree. It could very well be AI. Let's face it. It's different, but is different mean it's not so? I don't know.
If
Like
it's
I've seen worse AI. You know?
if it was if okay, if it was touched up, if it was
Yeah.
altered in some kind of Photoshop and it's beyond my
Yeah.
ability to do that. I have seen power lines that have a break and they have an arc, and they'll arc between the two lines, and it's a big distance. It's 8-10 feet between those lines, but we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of volts. So you can get an arc stream, but I can't see the other line. Right. So
Yeah.
maybe it's just obscured, but you do get smoke and you get all kinds of stuff. So if that's what's happening, if you're having a massive arc between two high tension leads, and then someone's just brushing in the wings where the smoke is, it could be.
Yeah,
But boy, it's
could
pretty
be.
compelling, I have to say.
It's pretty wild. I
It
saw
is.
that and I was like, no, we definitely know what a lot of the real archangels look like. Just for sure. More like an Ezekiel's wheel sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But, I thought, oh my God, let's just show it and have some fun with it. It's interesting. I like to leave it. People are creative, to say the least, right? Power surge along a line with water molecules that are charged.
hmm
Yep, absolutely. Could be. Could be. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely could be, for sure. A sign of peace is a sign of peace, nothing evil. Doesn't believe it looks fake. In this case, it looks real. It's one of those things. Absolutely. We don't know. There's so many amazing things that are out there. I think we're all in this position now where everybody's got, a camera in their phone and they're capturing things. I mean, TV series have been created to just specifically for captures, and it is going to start getting harder and harder out there because there is CGI, there is AI, there are anything that goes digital, anything that hits a computer is fair game, unfortunately. So who knows? It could have been something that looked the original video. I mean, if I don't know if this is original or not, but let's say there was an original video that was very less pronounced, that you kind of got, like a little bit of pareidolia or a little bit, it looks kind of like this. And then somebody goes, hey, it looks kind of like this. And then just brushes up this, to what it is. Again, it's the world we live in, unfortunately.
But I think what you said back there just a minute ago about how everyone's got a camera, everyone's got a video at their fingertips, and I think for me, the way that the establishment would combat that is through our own skepticism, right? So, like, if you actually have some really good footage, rather than saying, "Oh, it's a conspiracy," and this and that and the other, let us have it and fully believe that it's been touched up. Right. Then we don't believe anything. Right. So that's the best weapon against knowledge, is just to let us believe that everything we see. No, that's not real.
Yeah.
That's fake. That's Photoshop. That's not real.
Yeah.
And they don't have to do anything. We do it all ourselves. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
My opinion.
That's the idea, Alan. We're putting it up there to get people's opinions. That's why it's there. It's open mic. It's just so everybody can sort of chime in and see what they think. That's all. So, again, with that being said, let's get into. I was reading this article, and it's about time mirrors. So apparently, this was dated May 21st, by the way, of this year. Physicists confirmed the incredible existence of time mirrors. So what are time mirrors? Well, have an understanding of what they are. It's a sort of time flip, I guess, is how it's been described, as looking into a mirror. I'm just reading part of the article, so I get this right. Looking into a mirror and spotting your back instead of your face. It sounds like kind of science fiction. You see it in some movies, but apparently it has a real basis in real physics. Researchers had predicted for more than 50 years that sudden shifts in a wave's environment could trigger such reversals, right? So time reflections differ from everyday mirror views in one crucial way. Instead of light or sound bouncing back in space, the wave is forced to reverse its flow in time. So I guess to achieve this, they took a group. The group used an engineered metamaterial designed to control electromagnetic wave behavior in unusual ways. And it allowed the scientists to manipulate the waves far beyond ordinary mirrors or lenses. By carefully adjusting the electronic components on a strip of metal, they introduced a sudden jump that reversed the direction of incoming signals. And of course, this filled the strip with electronic switches hooked to capacitor banks. So why does it matter? That's pretty cool. But the achievement signals a leap for people studying wave manipulation. Time reflections are no longer just hypothetical constructs, but events that can be triggered and measured with specialized hardware. So I don't know. It's a really long article. And I thought, God, like, that's different. You stuff you see in horror movies. You know, you look in the mirror and you see the back. It's kind of like, wait, what? So I don't know. I think it's interesting. What are your thoughts?
One more thing that I have to worry about now. Thank you. Looking in the mirror and seeing the back of my head. Oh my God, no thanks. Thank you for that.
Mirrors are funky though, right?
Yeah, but ever since I met you, like I'm scared to have a mirror facing each other. I'm moving stuff around. I don't have that reflective surface. Look at that reflective surface. Like I'm almost paranoid.
Yeah.
But I've seen stuff, so it's like it's not like it's just a false paranoid. Like I've seen stuff happen when mistakes occur.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, we do have a lot of mirrors. Everything's put away though now because after selling the manor, there's just no room for them all.
Oh, there's room.
Our mirrors.
Oh, there's room. I just moved them all, 47 of them.
Well, that's just what came out of the staircase.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a grand staircase full of mirrors. But I think what it is with these, again, it's just something that this is, I mean, over a lot of people's heads, Alan, don't feel bad.
Oh,
this is like physicist stuff, you know, which is why I'm reading from the article, because I'm sort of like, okay, what? But anyway, they went on to say that the results also hit at potential ways to explore time boundaries in phonetic devices. Future designs could pair multiple time interfaces together, create cavities in time that bounce signals back and forth for unusual interference patterns. So such concepts might spark fresh ideas about how to engineer wave behaviors. It's really scientific, but I find it so interesting because there's so much with mirrors, you know, that they're believed to be portals, right? And of course, okay, no cat, I know better. To not face them towards each other. It's me you're talking to. But you know, it's not even just mirrors. It's like a reflection mirror, you know, with let's say a picture frame, like a glass, right? Window, whether if it can have a reflection, it can actually create things.
I have a question.
Go.
It just popped into my head with the mirror thing. Okay, so we're not supposed to face mirrors towards each other. I know that, and apparently, not even a little sort of on an angle, like not even close. Just not even. Close. So, what would happen at a fun house where you have like a room that's, you know, huge with hallways just filled with mirrors that go every which way? Like, is that the devil's playhouse? Like when you walk in there, is that just like paranormal, like a million? Because I never want
all the mirrors.
I never want to go. I never want to go in one again after this.
It could be though. It could be, right? I mean, it could be all these mirrors facing each other. Anything is definitely possible.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what? I remember doing an investigation, and we went into the one of the rooms in this specific home. It was just off the charts with activity. So one of the things we noticed was like, okay, there's a couple of mirrors facing each other. Let's just remove one and see what happens. Well, we caught an EVP at that time. This went back a long time ago because I don't do investigations anymore. But the EVP said, put that back. a little bit hostile. But anyway, it was definitely interesting, and things, it was just the beginning of the process of starting to settle things down until we were able to clear the place. Z said, love mirror scrying. 2 mirrors facing one another can open portals. They can. And one of our mirrors is a black mirror.
That's a cool mirror. And that thing weighs. I was moving that the other day. I forgot how heavy that thing is. And it's not massive. It just, I picked it up. I was like, good grief, that weighs a lot. Yeah.
It is very heavy. I mean, it's old as well. And that one's just put away from the rest of them. I can't bring a mirror home that is antique. I just get an odd feeling knowing people long since gone whose image was captured in the reflection. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I think a lot of yes, Dr. Moody does. I think a lot of ancient civilizations, and depending on the cultures, didn't like mirrors because they believed that your spirit could be trapped in the mirror, right? I think you and I were talking about that one night. Do you want to elaborate on that?
No, it goes back. It goes into the mirrors, and that's where, like, you got the witch balls, right? The decorative blown glass. It's like you get trapped inside it. The essence gets trapped, can't get out. Same with mirrors. Same with photography. Early photographers were just like, no one will let me take their picture because they think somehow the camera is snapping a little piece of your soul out to create the picture on the negative, and without your soul not being intact, you aren't going anywhere. So they were very, very dubious about that sort of thing, But if you remember at the manor on the second floor back room that used to be the servants' quarters, that's the original glass in that house. There's only a few of them left, a few panes of those windows left that is at the original kind of wavered glass. It's old. It's very ancient. And when it was and the light was just right, you could capture an image of a little girl in that glass so perfectly that you would think that she was just in the room, but there's nobody there. And we've had a ton of people tell us who stayed in that room. It's like, I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning and there was the back of a little girl looking up that same window. So did she look out that window into her parents' backyard forever and a day while she was growing up? And it just, her image was just imprinted on that old glass. I have no answer for that. I've got pictures.
It's a great it's a great picture. I still
don't have answers for it.
No, it is a wild picture. The squishables at work, they had made up mirrors facing one another. I saw activity and put one upstairs. That'll fix them. In Italy, when a family member dies, they cover all the mirrors in the house with black sheets to keep the deceased spirit from being trapped here. See, I have heard this culturally too. This is like a lot of the, the older cultures.
My grandparents did that too.
Yeah. See, England.
Right.
Yeah. Same idea. Like the European, here, I mean, I'm sure a lot of those traditions came back here as well. Makeup mirrors. So Amelia wanted to know what was worse, the chairs or the mirrors? Bubbles is starting trouble. You're starting.
Yeah, she will. Like, okay, first of all, the chairs weigh a ton.
Yeah, and some of them do,
and they're pretty fragile and they take up a lot of space. However, the mirrors weigh a ton and they are breakable. I mean, breakable. Like, I just panic every time I pick one of these things up. I just don't even like holding them,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's 51, half dozen the other. I don't know.
Well, we don't have 10, 12 foot ceilings anymore either now. So some of these pieces that we have are colossal for sure.
See all the scars they had basement.
Yeah.
But there's always a difference, isn't there? Like when like I'm moving something and there'll be a bang. It's usually my elbow or my hand. And Michelle will be like, what was that? That's okay. It was my elbow. It's my hand. It's all right. The mirror's fine. Chair's fine. And then Michelle's carrying something to the house. Like, wham! I'm like, what was that? She's like, oops. It's different when she bashes a 300-year-old thing off the wall.
Oops. Oopsie. Yeah. Oopsie. I know. No.
I do it. And it's like, what are you doing?
Oh, shut up. I do not. I do not. You're just telling. I was trying to make me look bad.
Nah,
Yeah, see, there
could
with
never,
us white
could
cat.
never do
Can you
that.
imagine me having that reaction? Yeah, be quiet, Wayne.
Oh!
No, exactly.
Hmm.
I have to understand some of these pieces are very rare,
Oh, they
right?
are.
They're rare. They're
Well,
rare.
we have a code at the house, is when Michelle wants something, I have like questions for her. So the first question is it really heavy? Yeah, that's the first. It has to be yes. Is it one of a kind? Yes. Is it extremely fragile? Yes. Then we can have it.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
yes, some, some. But I mean, I'm being good because I've actually like been partying with pieces.
Yeah, you have. It's been good. It's been really interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just kind of look at things and go, I don't know. I sold a chair today. It's like big move for me.
It was a very big move.
It's a big move. The man was so happy. I just love it. I'm like, I'm so glad you're happy.
Yeah.
Love and light. Love and
Yeah.
light.
Do you like chairs, Mr. Man? Oh, we come to the right place.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. No. Well, I did say, yeah, which chairs you like. I do have chairs. Some I'll never get rid of because they're just like spectacular. But if I want to collect antiques, I have an antique table. I say just as soon as it enters the house. Yeah, why not? We need to talk. I need some of those pieces. Oh boy. Wayne's like, please. I'm
Come
just
on
like,
down.
I'll find another.
Oh, she will.
Oh,
You see the stuff we find. I mean, I joke. I mean, the stuff she finds is like over the moon, and she doesn't look for it. Like the stuff just shows up. When I'm looking for something, it's like 42 years later, I find a close resemblance of something I've been looking for. Not her. We know what I'd like. I'd like something, and it shows up like within 20 minutes or 2 days. It's just like, how do you do that? Like, how do you pull that one off? I want that.
it's just good manifestation skills.
I guess.
I don't
Look at that. I wanted that van since I
don't
was
know.
18 years old. And it took me to what now? 60
Yeah.
to pull it off.
Oh my God. Yeah. How do you find it? Finds me. That's the thing.
That's it. It does.
I
It
know.
finds you.
Yeah, Amelia's been to the manor when we had the manor, not here, but when everything was all, out there. Of course, we filmed a lot of shows there too. So anybody who's followed some of the paranormal shows, quite a few have filmed there. But it's like a museum, like it was. It was just beautiful. All these unusual pieces just seem to fit so well there. But okay, with that said, was some of them haunted? I think out of all the pieces, we actually lucked out pretty good. If there was
Yeah,
any
we did.
energy, there's nothing really I didn't feel.
No.
you
The
know.
house was haunted and the car was haunted, but got rid of the guy in the car, so that was okay. And the house was pretty good after you took care of the naughty ones.
Yeah, but the house or the car, you have to tell people was a hearse.
Yeah. It was a 1965 Cadillac funeral coach, right?
Yeah.
Man, that was a great car, but the guy that drove it, I drew a picture of him. He was so in your face all the time, and it was just unbelievable.
Mhm.
I told him, I said, you better like knock it off. I'll get rid of him, and he just said, try it. Oh, game on, bring it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like that's the end of that.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah. That was a happy car after that.
and it was a happy car after that. Yes, very
Yeah.
much so. I had a lot of fun with that car.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
I missed that car.
Sorry. It was not my idea to get rid of it. Just saying.
Well, it was a good idea at the time, and I said, oh.
Mhm. Yes.
I can't cry over spilled milk. It's gone now. So
My gosh. Okay.
that's all good. Don't worry. I'm fine.
Yeah. Okay. So we're we're gonna keep going on the soul trap. Okay. On
Yeah.
the soul trap. Okay. The soul trap. This is different than the whole mirror thing. Okay.
Okay.
Soul trap. So you know how we talk about the soul trap, and it's just like, be careful about the karma loops and things like that. Be careful, you're gonna come back. Blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
right? Yeah, I know.
pain.
But there is a thing. Again, I'm going to read an article just to make sure like nothing gets left out. So, who built the soul trap, and why Why do melanated, they'll go on to talk about that. Why do melanated souls hold the key? So this isn't just about waking up. This is about getting out. I saw this and I was like, what? Because this is something that's come up, and we've had guests on the show who've talked about it. And you know how synchronicities happen? All of a sudden, here's this article. So apparently, this is bigger than the Matrix, bigger than just reincarnation and karma loops. This is about, wait for it, engineered entrapment, a cycle designed to keep certain souls, which is very interesting to me. Why not all souls? Certain souls locked in servitude, pain, and amnesia. And those souls, melanated ones, cosmic ones, original ones, the blueprint holders. So, I know, I kind of went, what is this stuff? This is great. So anyway, who built the trap? Ancient elite, priesthoods, occultists, interdimensional entities that figured out how to manipulate the soul's journey after death. The trap is maintained through false light, illusionary guides, and systems that recycle consciousness back into suffering. Religious dogma, historical erasure, education systems, all enforced to keep us from remembering who we are. So let's talk about, this is a great article, by the way. So why melanated souls? Why do they hold the key? Because melanin isn't just a pigment. It's a conductor, a storage drive. It holds memory, cosmic codes, ancestral timelines, and it's resistant to programming. Our dreams, our deja vu, our connection to music, rhythm, nature, prophecy, it's divine technology. And they've been afraid of it since the beginning. So the mind trap isn't just mental, it's frequency based. Hello, have we not all talked about frequency before? One thing we talk about a lot on, hey, Thirsty, is frequency. So, all right, so we're almost on this article. So the system runs on trauma, fear, guilt, and confusion. It's reinforced through school, religion, entertainment, science, gaslights the metaphysical. But once you start to see it, really see it, you begin to override it. So I'm guessing, synchronicities, paying attention, working with frequencies, keeping yourself with a really positive frequency, I think would be the one, like the key, to basically keeping some of that negative stuff away. So how do we break free? Stop automatically consenting. Okay, that's a good one. Ask questions. Refuse fear-based reliefs. Disengage from shame loops. Reclaim your imagination. Well, Wayne's got great imagination. Connect with your body, water, nature, ancestors, breath work, and speak out loud. I revoke any soul contracts made under manipulation or false pretenses. I am sovereign. I am whole. It's all about yourself. Reconnecting with your higher self. Ooh. Yeah, 100%. So I don't know. Thoughts?
My head hurts. Jeez, man.
I know. I told you I had some really good stuff though tonight, because this is stuff that we've talked about a little bit. Before.
We spent a lot of time talking about this.
Well,
stuff.
the soul trap, yeah, because I mean, you just want to get out.
How many times do we say, like my sister and I would say, like, I'm not coming back. This is it. I'm done. This is just. I feel like I'm in the final exam of like years and years and years and years of really hard schooling, and this is just the worst year of my life, kind of thing.
Yeah,
not in physical, but just like in reference to the exam work. Like when I was going through my electrical stuff, the last year of the electrical exam, I thought my brain cell was going to melt. It's just so much. That's what this feels like. It feels like a really hard lesson all the way along.
Yeah, it does. it sort of lends a little bit to, I guess, what they're saying about this whole soul trap thing. You just keep coming back into this lifestyle. So does it go back to, if you're getting into even like the Gnostic text and you're looking at the archons, how things just feed off of this type of energy? You could see why they would want to just keep recycling in and just keep that cycle going. But there are those who have talked about on the show before, throughout the years, about having this soul trap and keeping your vibrations high and trying to get away from that whole cycle, because it does just keep you going. And we're just like reincarnation. I mean, has anybody ever thought about that really? Why do they really make reincarnation really enticing and past lives really enticing? And why do they talk about, coming back and again, it's so really enticing. And when you die, go to the light, go to the light, go to the light. Why are we conditioned to fear the darkness so much? I've never feared the darkness. I wouldn't, if I passed tomorrow, I wouldn't fear. I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards the light. I would not have a problem moving towards the darkness.
I think the darkness is just again, it comes from our past where before electric lights, before fire, I mean, once the sun went down, if there was no moon, boom, you were at the mercy of the things that could see better than you. And human beings didn't fare up well with things that can see better than you in the dark, because they're usually big with teeth. So that's generally where it's just a fear that's been moved forward through our own evolution. I think that's where we get that fear from. But we also fear of dying. Like, this is the only life we know. Like, we're actually pretty confined in our little flesh suit here, with the little 2 peepholes. That's all we get to see out of. We live in a 3-dimensional world. We have no concept of anything else. That's all taken away. So all we have is the physical, and it's very terrifying to go from, I can touch, I can taste, I can feel, I have love, I can have rain fall on my skin, all this stuff, to over there we don't know. That's terrifying. Like, over there we don't know. So you have to have a lot of faith in what you're jumping into.
Well, here, this is what you say all the time. What Jim is saying: why do we reincarnate to learn a lesson that we have no clue in remembering what the lesson is?
Always.
I say that all the time.
It's like, welcome to grade 3. And we're gonna start with this. We're gonna start where you left off in grade 2. Well, I don't remember what I did in grade 2. That's all right. We took it away from you. Well, what are we learning in grade 3? Well, we can't tell you. But if you don't get it, you don't go to grade 4. But how am I supposed to even succeed in that? You can't. It's rigged. The whole thing is rigged.
Yeah, read the fine print.
I always say that. I always say that. Let's go back to Earth, Wayne. It'll be fun, they said. I didn't read the fine print. Here I am.
Yeah, I know. Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dolly says we're not anarchy of consciousness. This is autonomy we choose. Nothing can force you to go where you do not want to go. But maybe you can be tricked.
I think you can be tricked.
It's like, Yeah. But, I think that there is a lot to it. There's just so much. This is why it's so important that you meditate, that you learn to work with, I say, vibration, I say frequency, I say tap in to the universe. Tesla had that down eons ago. They didn't like that too much, but he had it down. He did believe that there was definitely ways to tap into the ether and tap into all the energies around us.
And what happened to him, eh?
Well, it's a good thing that they didn't want getting out. I'm not coming back. Nuh-uh. I'm with you, sister.
What?
Nothing. I know.
Inside joke.
I know. I learned a meditation of placing yourself into a meta womb, immersing yourself in inky blackness of the void. Yeah. See, to me, I find that extremely peaceful.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have those isolation chambers now you can go to where it's like a big salt bath. And the water holds you up, and it's the same temperature as your body, exactly.
Yeah.
And you put dark glasses on and the room is completely dark. So you're basically floating in nothing. And there's nothing around, no sound, no nothing. You're just there.
No. Perfect place to meditate. I know. I love that. Patsy, why can't we say while we are here that we don't want to come back, but then we still have to come back.
Well, I've said it since I was probably 5. I'm not coming back. Forget it.
Amelia says, I would just talk to myself.
That's exactly right.
Sorry, answering yourself is a problem, though. So, Dolly, your consciousness outside your physical body has all resources that protect you and guide you towards wisdom. Yeah, I think some people just aren't seeing that, unfortunately.
Hello.
I am.
Wisdom, you say?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: saying I don't want to come back here. You can go anywhere. I think if you can make that connection to your higher self and to the universe, to the creator, just connect to those energies. Let's just say you have to come back here.
Well, look at that guest that you had on. I forget his name, but he basically he died on a mountain with a friend on an ice floe. And he went to the light and it was there, and he relived all his bad things he did on it. He said in about 2 seconds, and it was horrible, but it was over really fast, and he wanted to come back, and they said, well, that life is gone.
Peter Benegor.
There you go. That's the guy. And the source, whatever he called it, took him to a wall of lights. Like he just said, it was only I can describe as a wall of lights. He said, that life is gone, but you can pick from all these other lives. Right. And he goes, this is a nice one, or this is a nice one. See, I would be too scared because I can't pick anything correct to save my life. Right.
Yeah.
Like, here's 47 choices, Wayne. You can pick one. I don't want to pick. I don't want to pick.
Don't make me pick.
No. I'll be in a rowboat in the middle of the Atlantic in the storm. That was a bad choice.
That's true. That was a crazy NDE you had.
Yeah. Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking to one of the chat room
No,
people. Oh, that was
on that freaking boat. Yeah. Tell it.
tell it. Oh
Tell it. Yeah, because we have new people. Tell it.
Okay, so this is for the new people. For the regulars, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I got really sick at work one day. I worked outside. I was a line technician, and there was a big meningitis scare going around the city that one year, and so I started to feel not well. And I went to walk-in clinic, and they said, just go home. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just go home. So I did. And they said, if your fever starts to spike, go directly to the hospital. I don't go to the doctor, go to the hospital. Like, it could be serious. I'm like, okay. So I did. Went home, got a shower, went to bed, woke up, raging fever, headache. I felt like literally my head was splitting right down the middle, like literally an axe right in my head. I'd never had a headache. Usually I get a headache at the back of my head, not in the front.
Right.
And so I drove to the hospital and went in, explained the situation, and they give you okay, well, it's going to be a while, do it quick as we can. Right. I sat in a waiting room for a while, a long while, and I got up and I made my way to the admitting desk, and I'm polite. Excuse me, I know it's busy, but can you possibly give me an ETA on this, because my head's blowing up. I feel I'm going to die, right? Maybe another 20 minutes. I'm okay. So I turn around to go back, to my seat, and I started doing the old, and I don't remember hitting the floor, but apparently I did. And that's all I remember was the whole room kind of doing the kaleidoscope thing. And next thing I know is I'm in an old sailing ship, like one of the 3 master jobs where the captain's at the back up high, and then the bow's up high, and then the bottom part's kind of lower, right? And we're in the middle of a storm, like a bad storm. It's dark, it's thunder, lightning, flashing, waves coming over everything, right? But it was really bizarre because the boat was just dead still. It wasn't doing this at all. It was crazy. And I looked around, and we're all in those black raincoats, like the fishermen wear, but they're black, and they have the little hat that goes around with the cap on goes down over your back, keep the water out of your neck. Yeah. So I'm looking at all my brethren, all soaking wet and in these slickers. And I look ahead of us, and we're heading towards this lighthouse up on a cliff, right? And so I watched the light come right towards the ship, and I kind of looked up at it, and I followed it over me, and it went to the back of the ship where the captain would be standing, or the pilot would be standing with his hands on the wheel, guiding the ship. And the light went right into that person's face, and they were in a shroud, like the Grim Reaper kind of shroud, and the light went right into his face, her face. I couldn't see the face, just the light. And it was at that moment I'm just like,
Uh-oh.
like, oh
boy.
no, this is not good. I don't know. This doesn't feel right at all. And I laugh about it now, but I wasn't laughing at that moment. And it was literally in that exact moment where I'm having that realization that a very pleasant, mild, feminine voice in my right ear basically said quietly, do you want to stay or do you want to go? Just that plain. And all I thought about was, oh, my kids, and it was like, boom. And there's lights in my face. I'm in so much pain again. And the first thing I heard was a woman say, I have a pulse. So, that was that. And they kept me for a while. And they said I dehydrated. And that was where my headache was coming from. And I asked the attending physician, I said, did I die? And the guy was like, what? No, you didn't die. Why'd you say something like that? I don't know. I saw stuff that I didn't like.
I got a pulse, might have been a.
Oh, right. And the same nurse said to me afterwards, she goes, how can you have such beautiful big veins, but nothing in them? Like, what's going on with you, right? I was like, I don't know. I'm in pain. I hurt. Yeah, I was wild. I never had that again. I never want to have that again. Yeah, you keep that.
Yeah, but like you say, you felt completely at peace. You know what I mean?
No, I did not say that. I said the boat was nice and steady and it wasn't doing this. I didn't say I was at peace at all.
Amelia says they'll never tell you. Yeah, you have to ask for your file. See,
it was that.
She knows. It's happened to her several times. Yeah. Right.
No,
Bubbles?
They won't tell you. That's right. You have to come up with the correct wording. But yeah, they weren't going to tell me that for sure.
Yeah.
But they kept me in overnight for a dehydration case. I don't know about that. And I don't think they would keep you overnight for dehydration, but they did.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See? Yeah. It's kind of wiggy when you think about it. It's just so different for so many people.
Well, I always thought I try to do this in chat, but you're only allowed whatever it is, 104 characters. It's really hard to try to explain something in chat. But we get talking about reincarnation and deja vu. I had deja vu, I would say almost daily as a young person. And, if not daily, weekly, I'd be like, I was in this park before. I was by this bus stop before. I saw that person pass me before. It was so ridiculous. I was starting to think I was cuckoo,
Right.
And then one day it all stopped. I haven't had deja vu since I was probably in my late 20s. And it made me wonder as I started to get more and more into the stuff that we're into now, what we're talking about here tonight, was that I wondered if, let's say my life as me, I was supposed to live to be 93, let's say.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I got depressed one day or I killed myself or I was in the wrong place at the wrong time and some guy shot me, but I didn't make my contract to 93 years for my soul's education. So what they do is they're like, no skipping class, back you go. So they basically go back and they plug you back in, from the time of conception to born all the way through. And you have all these fleeting memories of God, I was at this bus stop. I remember this person. I've been in this grade before. I remember that bad teacher. But you don't really know why because it doesn't make any sense.
Like the deja vu, sort of.
That's the deja vu.
Yeah.
But when you reach the point of where you checked out for whatever reason, let's say it's 27, when you checked out at age 27, when you reach 27 and one day, you don't have any more deja vu anymore. Because that's what happened to me. It stopped dead in its tracks. I never had deja vu after that.
Really?
No, not ever, not once. And yet it was like I said, for a while there, as a kid, up to probably age 9 or so, it was every day. Every day. I'd be like, wow, I was in this. I don't like this. I know what's going to happen. This kid's going to come around the corner. And they say it would happen. It was just crazy. And then it started to get weekly and then monthly. And then, by the time
that's strange because you had that experience at 4 where you felt.
Oh, at 4. Oh, yeah. That was crazy.
Last night we talked about walk-ins and step-ins, the difference with Dr. Macklin between a step-in and a walk-in.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that. I went to work. I missed that show.
Well, walk-ins are when, you have this soul agreement when they can just walk in, right? Maybe you're stepping out. And then you have step-ins who are the ones that jump in when they shouldn't be jumping in.
I feel sorry for the walk-in. He walked into me when I was 4 years old. And was like, welcome, my little friend. Welcome. This is going to be a rough ride for you.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe the step in was to make sure I did make it past 27 this time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it was about. Like, I really don't, but it was mind blowing, freaky deaky when I looked at my hands in the middle of my 4-year-old birthday party going, I'm a child. And it was such a horrendous realization, because a minute before I'm like, wow, balloons, cake, yay, my friends are here, to like, oh my God, I'm a child. I'm a child again. Barf, fall on the floor, pass out. Oh yeah, pass out. Everybody goes home. I wake up in my bed. My parents looking quite worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it's fun being me.
That's kind of scary. You know what I mean? That you
Kinda.
were aware that something was. Yeah, that was.
I'm wondering if that guy's like, okay, we got to beam into this guy, but maybe you're supposed to beam in like just before the accident happened. I don't know. I don't remember the accident. I don't remember anything like that. This my deja vu theory. Yeah. But this guy beamed in when I was 4, and it's like, oops, I mislanded that. It was like, how do you do that now? Now you got to live through this nightmare we call Wayne.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's that bad. Come on.
Well,
now.
When I was a kid, it was horrible. Don't count it. So it's not bad now. It's nice now. But back then, it was like, wow, man, it was a nightmare. Just a nightmare.
Yeah. It gets pretty wiggy. For sure it does. It gets pretty wiggy.
Wiggy's a good word.
Wiggy's a good word. So also in the news, we'll just switch gears a little bit. Looking like another one of the pyramids at the Giza Plateau may have a complex underneath it, like the Great Pyramid. What did we say?
No, I know.
There's a whole bloody area, I'm sure.
Which news are we talking about? Like the government paid news or like the real news?
I know.
You know, so
yeah.
Because if it's the government paid news, I have to say distraction, and there's something bigger going on.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, it gets kind of crazy, but yeah, it's definitely there. Definitely there. Well, we're glad you stopped in for a little while. We love you too and miss you. Get better so you can come back.
You got to come back.
Yeah, you'll be hanging out with us having one of these. So, Jim says, I would often have random out-of-body experiences as a kid. Scared me so much. I had a vision of an iron dome above me. Haven't had one since, and now I wish I didn't do that. Oh, interesting. Huh.
Yeah, you can wish things away. It happened to me when I was walking. I could pick up people's thoughts as they went past me, but it was more emotions than thoughts, but they were never nice.
Yeah.
They were never nice. It was always like, oh, you know, that woman just found out she has cancer. Oh, that guy's getting fired this afternoon. I would pick up everything like that. And it went on and on and on and on. And finally I just said, I can't stand it. Make it stop. And it did instantly. Yeah. Where I should have been more specific. I go, you got to tone it down a little bit. I need a little bit of balance, you know, but it's gone. Never came back. So
no, it's a tough one for sure. You know, I didn't like hearing voices when I was younger. I just, you know, it didn't seem to matter. They just happened randomly, and, you know, just wasn't skilled enough, versed enough to put them in check. And I basically just said, no more. That's it. You know, they come back a little bit now, but I have to do it, you know, the harder way, you know, but, you know, like, now when people say that to me, oh, you know, this happens, I wish I could stop. I said, no, you don't. One day you'll wish that you didn't, and you're just going to have to work a little harder to just open up and bring it back. Right. So, but I don't know. It's not too bad. So next we're going to talk about what's circulating around again are the Dyson Aura goggles. So if you guys remember, we did have one of our open mics. I don't have my goggles here with me, but they're the Aura goggles. You know, there's just the story that was floating around was the military, you know, flying, and they had these Dyson glasses, goggles over their night vision goggles, and they were seeing. The story goes they were seeing a horrific, demonic flying things in the air, and you know, pilots started shooting at each other, and it was just a nightmare. Well, I can tell you it's quite different. I do own some. They're not cheap. You can get them, but there's a lot of other different kinds of things you can get with them as well. Not just the goggles. They have lenses. I'm going to show you guys. And hold on. They have lenses, the different colors that make these up. Okay. Here's, for example, here's one of them. Okay. Now here's something fun, and I'm going to tell you why they don't quite work the way the militaries did. But you can take these, okay, you can screw them in. 1 second. So I'm screwing it in right here. Okay, see, there we go. See, this specific one is blue. You might be able to see a bit of a hue over here. I don't know because I'm catching. Okay, here's what it's for. I'm going to show you. Cell phone. Okay. Clip it over your cell phone, and then you can take a photo. And I'll see if I can grab a photo. So everything is blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to email it to myself. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Okay. So hold on. They have different colors, and the goggles are really cool. They are made with the exact same formula as the original inventor, and there's only one company that actually has that specific I guess formula. We'll leave it there. So let me just email this to myself so I can show you guys what this specific one looks like. Okay.
Personally,
phones, it's not going to help me. Go ahead.
I think the reason that you didn't have the same results as the military people had during those flights, those test flights with those goggles, is you weren't on LSD while you had them on.
No, not
right?
quite.
I'm pretty sure that would have a massive effect on what you were looking at through those
What
goggles.
it is, though, I'll tell you what it is. It's this. There were Generation 4, I think a 4th generation night vision military goggle that is already night vision. So when you are putting these up with night vision goggles, right? And I'm going to try to take another picture, see if I can get one of the other lenses. All right, hold on. It's coming through, and I want to show you guys what this looks like. Okay, hold on. Why? I don't know if you guys are meant to see it. It did not attach. This is
I was going to say, if you put
insane.
up a picture and there's something standing behind me, I'm going to flip.
I don't know, but I
Don't do that to me. It's not cool.
Now I have to do it. Okay, here we are. Here we are again. God Almighty, this is crazy. It's not at all in the email. So let me try this again.
I love it when this happens.
Okay, I'm going to try it again. This is insane. Okay. Hold on. Bear with me. And we'll wait for the other one to come in. And that's just nuts. But anyway, I thought this was sort of cool. Aura glasses. I'm going to try to see if I can take another picture. So, I mean, I have the ones that I have. It's a set of 3. You can work with different lenses. You can work with different types of glasses. Again, they're not cheap. For me, I've always made a point of purchasing things because I like to, I used to do presentations where I would look at people and say, yes, this is a thing. No, this isn't a thing. Don't waste your money, this, that, whatever. So here's what I'm going to show you. This is a picture I just took. Okay, this is the blue lens. Okay, here it is. There. That's the blue lens from this thing. So
what did you take a picture of?
The computer screen.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, crazy, right? Like it's just so you can look at different auras. It's believed that you can see things in here, right? So hold on, I'm just going to put another one in and see if I can get another picture for you guys of one of the other lenses. But it's made with it's the same idea as it is the exact formula. Somehow this organization grabbed hold of this formula. And okay, so here's another one. This is more of a purple hue. So this isn't the blue one. Yeah, it's very strange how it actually takes photos. 1 second, guys. I'm going to send this one to you. So the glasses are the same idea, but a lot of people don't really understand what these things look like when you're using them. So I just want to show you guys what it is. So 1 second.
Looks like you got little entity people coming out of your computer screen at you.
Great.
That's what it looks like.
Great.
Yeah.
I know with the glasses, some of the lenses that I have are red. So you can mix these things up. It's sort of crazy, really, but it's the things that you can do with them. Okay, hold on. All right, here we are. See, again, it's a purple one, but yet it comes up with a different thing altogether. So hold on 1 minute.
I apologize for all the noise in the background. If you hear anything, it is the bird.
There, that's the one I just used. So totally different lens altogether. Yeah. Like there's red, there's purple, there's blue, and they're all meant to, again, see auras if you use them with apparently the Generation 4 military. Our goggles are the ones I think personally is, I don't even think you'd need any of this, but again, frequency polarization tech. Yeah. And the inventor of the said glasses that the military used was, let me just get this out for you. So you can, if you want to research it, this is what you would be looking at it. But there's, the conspiracy, and it was a Dr. Kilner, and he did this back in, I'm just trying to see what the conspiracy says. I don't want to leave too much dead air time here, but something to do with all the pigments and such. And the company does talk about how they came across everything and, how they do the process and so on. A lot of stuff on Etsy, a lot of stuff out there, but, after full research, if this is your thing, it's money well spent. But for everything, let's say the set of the 3 sets of goggles that I have, all of these different lenses, it's almost 4 digits. So it's reasonable for what they are, but just know it's, you're not going to go around seeing like demons with them. Don't do that. It's not going to work. It's not a thing. So
just go to Walmart if you want to see demons.
Now. Behave.
I'm behaving.
We used to buy those in the back of comic book stores for $1 of X-ray glasses. Yeah. Well, I don't know. How come I'm never part of that? I would like to do that. That'd be cool.
Still cheaper than a chair.
I know. Cheaper than the chair. Could be. It could be. No, but they are fun. You know what I mean? They are fun. So just there's all kinds of things out there that you can definitely fight around with. Okay.
If you're looking to capture something on a camera, I think one of the most fascinating things I found with the cell phones is the selfie. I got the best pictures of spooky stuff taking a selfie because the spirits think you're taking the picture in front of you. So they get behind you to get out of the way of the picture, and you get some great stuff.
He used to get ridiculous things.
It's just gold.
I know.
Just so gold. One of my favorites is the woman. I'm taking a picture of me like this. So I put the camera over to the side, take a picture. And then on the wall behind me where there was no pictures, no nothing, there is the back of a Victorian lady's head, and she's got her hands up and she's putting like a hair fascinator in the back of her head. Yeah. And she's staring into an oval mirror, and I can see her face in the oval mirror behind me. It was like so amazing. Such an amazing pic. I love it.
You got some great captures that way.
Yeah, and there's the one that's with the glowing eyes, like looking behind the bedpost, the big armoire bedpost, like this peering around like that. It's so wild. It's got some crazy pictures.
Yeah, the house was really active too, though. So I mean, it delivered pretty regularly.
Oh, it did that.
Yeah. It did. It did.
This
Oh,
house is quiet. He likes the quiet.
the quiet is nice. This is one of the first things I said, when we first moved in. I said, "Did you hear that?" He goes, "No, what?" I
What?
said, "Nothing. There's absolutely nothing." It was
That
so
trolled
nice.
me hard that day because usually when she goes, "Did you hear that?" It'd be some horrible sound down the hallway, right? And I'm just like, "What? What is it? What do you hear?" Nothing.
No. Oh, the other house, he'd be growled at and everything. It was
Oh
just,
yeah, just nasty. Some of
I'd
the stuff
walk
is
by, it's like,
nasty.
"Rrr," and I'd be just like, whatever. I
Yeah,
just keep
whatever.
walking. You just get used to it, I guess,
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know. It is a lot of mindset. I think if you let things run away with you, it's easy, to fall into that trap. What?
Not a thing.
So, got something to add?
Just agreeing with you. Just agreeing with you.
Uh, are the new owners of the old home reporting anything? No, made sure it was just clear. The house was clear. Absolutely. The resident spirits of the house were not stuck there. That's the thing. They came back just because they loved the house. We did have extraterrestrials there. I mean, it got to a point where, the whole upstairs, we never used half the house. It was big and we just didn't need all the space.
No.
And, we would just have all kinds of stuff going on up there. We'd be just like, okay, and then one time Wayne wakes up and there's got this little bald gray at the end of the bed. You remember that little guy? Must have been one of
Yep.
those little AI jobbers. He's really
I know.
small, and
Oh, yes.
pinch your toe or something. His little bald head,
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, what the
I kept
hell?
looking at him. He kept going down further and further behind the head of the footboard, right?
Yeah.
There was all kinds of stuff in there. There was like arguments between the daughter and the mother. Then there was discussions of business between the elder men that were in the house. It was wild. It was all the time.
Yeah.
It was all the time noises, all the time. Up down the stairs, the front door opening and closing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was nuts.
Yeah. Well, the new owner, she's just basically, she goes, "Oh, I should rent out this house. Everybody says it looks haunted." We're like, yeah. Well, not anymore, but yeah. But no, I mean, I've had people reach out to me who have, commented with the house and such, and I'm just like, meh, it's interesting. Hope you're having fun.
Because it was
yeah.
interesting. First,
Yeah,
it was
it was like
interesting.
an Airbnb, and I just said, "Well, go ahead, like just have some fun with it." I've had people message me saying, "Okay, what's the deal with the house?" I said, "I don't think you're going to get any real experiences anymore, but if that's what you're going for, have a good time." So
it was always pretty, but it was always pretty benign. The basement was pretty spooky in places, but
one place, and yeah.
No, there was when I was before when I first moved in there. That one corner of the basement, I did not like that, man. It was just a really heavy feeling.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but it did have.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Believe me, I only stay in haunted places. I've traveled to different parts of the world, and old and haunted is exactly what I look for. Exactly.
Well, it's not why you hang out with me.
Yeah.
Old and haunted.
Oh yeah, maybe. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I would. Again, the goggles. I don't know that there will have anything for that. I think this went back into, was it World War II?
No, it was
World War
actually
One?
it was no, it was Vietnam.
Vietnam. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where they were. That's why I said, like, they were experimenting with all kinds of stuff to make the early super soldier kind of idea with injecting them and doing all kinds of stuff without their knowledge. So when you were saying that these guys put their glasses on and were shooting their own planes down and shooting each other, and
because they were seeing things.
I know. And LSD will make you see and feel all kinds of stuff, and you put those goofy goggles on. I bet you see all kinds of wacky stuff.
Yeah. Well, what they did when it was happening, though, is that I guess, the head squadron just basically said, pull them off, because they were supposed to, I guess, enhance the goggles. It was supposed to, they could see clear, in pitch dark.
It was supposed to get rid of that grainy, grayish green hue. It was supposed to sharpen it up.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah. No, exactly. So when this was happening, they basically just said, no, take them off, just pull them off, take them off. And then things settled down and then they were fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
But how would you feel at that moment? You just saw like
they're out there.
Lucifer and his minions coming for your plane, and you take them off and they're not there. Like,
yeah,
but I know they're there.
I know.
I saw them. They were
Crazy.
coming. They're clawing through my window.
I know. It's crazy. I like to read the story when they put down the cyanin conspiracy, and it's got the whole thing about the pigment and how he experimented. Like Dr. Kilmer basically experimented with all this stuff, and it's crazy when you think about it, because like their people have been doing crazy. Pretty much genius, if you ask me, with some of this technology. It goes way back. You just don't hear of it. I think the only reason we know about it is because we had this, this video circulating for so many years. Somehow it got out there. It was like, wait, what? Let's face it. It's going to, it's going to definitely get some attention. Anybody who's, I think the problem is people think like it's a quick fix to be able to see, and it's not like that. It's not like that at all. And I think it was a combination of things. Things, yeah, that made it what it is, right? So, but I don't know. You know me. I like to test things and try things, and I should really carry them around with me more. Because when we're driving around and just sort of. Because you have to admit that blue picture, like that I took of the screen, that's the screen. This is what the screen should look like, and it should just have a blue film over it.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
Sure didn't.
It sure didn't.
Wonder what happens if you took ayahuasca with the goggles on. What if it would enhance your experience?
Oh, I think it might. I don't know. I've had people say to me, okay, let's go to Brazil. It was like a 2-year waiting list. Let's just go to Brazil. And we're going to do this ayahuasca. And you're there for 2 weeks because they spend a week just teaching you and training you as to what you're going to expect. So it doesn't wig you out, things like that. And it was just like, okay, but I'm thinking, I do not like not having control over what's going on in my space. And I'm thinking, I don't think I would be good with that.
I wouldn't be good with the plane ride. Never mind anything else.
The plane ride. I know. No, I know. Yeah, it would be different. It would be different. I love to fly, but I don't think I would be prepared. Part of the most difficult part of that, they say, is just you're facing yourself as well. Right. So you're just having to go into this place that you're in complete control once you open your eyes. For real. It's like, I don't know. I'd be a little bit, I'm so nervous about it. But some people who have done it have had amazing experiences. But I've heard of people who've had it who've been like deathly sick and then come back. Some people have reported having headaches for ages.
Can you imagine if I did that like way back when, and all of a sudden I came out of it and I'm 4. I'm a child again. Maybe that's what happened. I just had a really bad trip in Brazil.
Flip you back. Yeah, maybe.
See right there. I'm so close to the end. I don't want to do it.
I don't know. Well, Jim says, I'd like to try that aluminum tube invented in Russia. Starts with a K. It heals, and you can observe the past and present viewing. I've never heard of that, actually. I've never heard of that. The Russians were ahead of their time with stuff. I mean, I always say, you'll hear me talking about, the CE5, the whole CE5, and Russian scientists have been doing it since like the 80s.
He's not talking about the chronovisor, is he?
Oh, you're talking about the chronovisor? That's not Russian.
Doesn't sound like it. No, I just, what he said, you could see past and present and future. And
I believe the chronovisors believe that, yes, you can. Is it the chronovisor, Jim? Yeah. That thing's cool. It's like, that's like a camera though. That was, that was designed. It's very controversial, but it is, I don't know. No, I don't think it's a Tesla thing, Kat. Yes, the chronovisor. Yeah, only I think the Vatican has their hands on that. But apparently, there are the Guardians of the Looking Glass, and they're an organization who I think something to do with some whistleblowing. Anyway, they have figured it out. They were able to get the technology because this isn't an old technology. This is something that maybe, yeah, it's not a camera, but you can look through it. It's like the Looking Glass. And Frank Jacob, I think, has been on a show. You guys could catch his shows on the other platform. I'll just leave that right there because apparently you can be in trouble for that now. So here, I'm going to just do this. Anyway, Frank Jacob came on and started talking about that. And I remember sending him all kinds of stuff on this because we've definitely, researched it. But I mean, can you really trust it? That's the thing. Like, can you really trust what you are seeing? They had pictures of like Jesus, like in different stages. And it's just like, well, again, he was not Caucasian. Mm. That's where I kind of have a problem because they're showing this thing. He was not Caucasian. He looked like, the nice, dark hair, Caucasian, blue-eyed, guy is like, no, pretty much thinking that's not how he looked. So there's things there that I think there's just a little bit of deception with that, because this goes back to like, I believe like the 80s or something like that. So I'm not really sure with that, but anyway, but it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. We had a great time. We got through the majority of our stuff and everything else. So we'll tackle, on the next one. And yeah, thanks, Kat. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Wayne, any last words? Anything like last words?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Any last words? I don't know. What's going to happen? What are you saying it like that for?
Yeah.
I explained the whole Caucasian thing in book number 4.
Yeah, this is true.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you don't want to sleep at night, read that one.
Yeah, there we go.
Your personal favorite. Yeah.
It is. It is. Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, so guys, next week on I'm pulling us all this up. So Tuesday, Beyond the Outer Realm, we welcome the return of Simon Bone. And he's coming in from the UK to discuss UFOs and the paranormal. He's also a radio host, so he's well versed in a lot of this stuff. And if you guys remember, he was on talking about NDEs a few weeks back. Just wonderful. People just love this guy. And also talking about past life regressions. And we do have, I have a friend who decided to take him up on that. And let's just say, being wowed a little bit. So go and check him out. Wednesday, woohoo! Very dear friend, fellow, one of the hosts of course, the Lightgate, Preston Dennett, returns to discuss UFOs over the Arctic. We're segueing where we left off the last time he was on. So it's going to be good. Thursday, fellow host and dear friend Caroline Idarola joins me to discuss death, the afterlife, grieving loss, and moving on. So it's going to be a pretty intense segment, and she's just a sweetheart, but she's going to talk about everything she's been through, and we're going to just get into some exploration. It's going to be a really, really great segment. So for everybody, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you all, and you just make it that much better. So thank you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Night, everybody.
Night.